Was the showcase yesterday?
Well, I don't know if you see the way I've destroyed honestly right now, but
Okay.
yeah, the showcase was super cool, and well, it's 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 a big honor to host the label showcase, Codex showcase in Berlin, and yeah, well, it was even more than I expected. Super nice.
It was the first one, right?
Yeah, the first one in Germany, the first one in Berlin, because we did showcases in Ukraine, where I'm from, in Spain, where I live, and yeah, in Germany for the first time. And I think to host it like as a part of conference, like dance event, and also like in the capital of electronic music, it's a good start.
Of course, of course. So yeah, we will get today into 5 strategies or like tips, advices, especially for the newcomers, for the rookies, and how can you build it up your brand and how can you get into the market.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's kick off.
Well, first of all, I want to explain why I can speak about this a bit, because I run the company called IMT Music Group, and we have 15 labels on board, and one of these labels is Codex, of course. IMT. We also run the label for Fatima Haji, Silver M. We do the label for Methodic Christoph, Set About. So we do like complete label management, and also because of this, we have a lot of releases like a month. We have something like 50 releases coming out every month. And following my job, I speak with many artists. I get in touch with many artists, and we discuss a lot the strategy. And honestly, these advices I will give today, they built on my personal experience and my career, on my fails, on the mistakes I did in my life, in my artist with my artist profile. And right now I'm just trying to help to avoid these mistakes that can slow down building your profile today.
It's like they say, no, we don't fail to plan, we plan to fail. And yeah, I think it's going to be really a good value, no, for so many of
Well,
us.
I hope. I hope.
It will be. So
Let's
yeah,
start.
Let's start. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
No, it's like, yeah, we go for the first one. What is really interesting is called profile without marketing.
Yes.
What do you mean with that?
Well, profile without marketing. This is very important to understand what is marketing, because for many artists, they think that marketing is to grab the video, I don't know, to record the mix and drop it in the internet, you know, or something like Instagram, I don't know, whatever, SoundCloud, YouTube. And the thing is that marketing itself, it's a big complex of the actions, you know. You first of all you have to define what is your audience. You do not have just like to record the video and drop. You have to understand, you have to build a plan. Marketing is when you think about the product, first of all, thinking about the audience. So the idea to create the very good profile with marketing is to break down your audience. You have to think who's your listener, and you have to work on the plan. You have to work on the strategy. You even like your tracks, your mixes, they must be focused on the audience you have. For example, in this case, for me, it's easier to give examples with my tracks. For example, last track I did, You Warehouse. And I was thinking like, okay, we have the like, I know my audience. I did the breakdown of my audience. These young people, they like after 2 years sitting at home, they want to go back to the raves, you know. They want to go back somewhere and like to have party together, you know. Like these legal raves, they become very popular. So when I was creating the track, I was thinking about this audience, and I recorded myself the vocals saying like, yeah, my helmet, your warehouse, you know. And this way, it was very easy for me to build the next. It's not like making music and then thinking about what you did and how you will promote it. It's about to create the product, to create the music, to create the like digital assets, already thinking about the audience. So not to play, I'm so sorry, I know there are so many musicians here, but also it's important to mix, not only like to make the product and then think where you will place it. The business doesn't work this way. First of all, like even like Mercedes, big companies, they do like investigate the audience, and then they create the music. No, they create the products, thinking about the audience first of all. And I know that in case of a lot of especially young artists, when they do not have managers or whatever, they first create the music, and which is super cool and super logical. And then they think where they will place it. And I do recommend to start thinking another way. First,
So
think
to first define your target.
define a target, think about audience, and then create the product for this audience. So this is the first. This is actually the marketing. What is marketing? First, making the products, thinking about the audience, and then making it. You know.
So do you plan almost for your steps?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
In the way before you release the.
In my case, always. For example, like even when I call the track, even when I give the name, even when I record the vocals, I'm thinking how I will promote then this track. For example, with Track Your Warehouse, I was thinking, okay, I will then make the video somewhere, like we will find, like I will create the video mix. We will find like some like abandoned warehouse where we will make like complete package. It's not just to release a track and think, okay, label must do everything. No, 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 label will not. You have to do everything. You or your team or your manager. And of course, in the beginning, where you do not like have access to the big managements, the big managers, you have to be the manager yourself. And you have to roll your career and you have to plan your career thinking about the marketing rules. Marketing rule, not like spending money on ads rules. No, marketing means audience, plan, product. You know, this is the way I call it. So let's go to the next.
Yeah, let's go for the second advice.
Yeah, because I can speak a lot, and I think I can.
we have a really good chit chat. So yeah, so the second one we go for the breakdown, the region.
Yeah, break down the region. Actually, this is a part of the marketing, and I can tell you guys because I'm Ukrainian, and I faced this many times when I was speaking with my colleagues from Ukraine, because they do the like big mistake saying this. Like they say, "Oh, nice, I see you play in Europe," but the problem that Europe is like is very different. You know, like you can be very popular, for example, in Spain, and nobody can. You will never play even like in Portugal, which is super close. Or you can like talking about, for example, about Germany in my personal profile. I always played in western part of Germany, and I never played in eastern part of Germany. And so can you imagine if I will think about like, okay, I will promote my music. What I will do, like complete Europe, or like no, it's better to focus. It's better to focus even not on the countries, but to focus on the regions. And therefore, it will be way easier to start building your profile. When you will become big in one place, you will be able to spread and to get in other markets, which is super important. And this is a big problem of many artists, because when they plan the budgets for the advertisement, for example, Southern America, everybody, like a lot of artists, they want to play in Southern America, but come on, if you can play in Colombia, but no, you can never play, for example, in Argentina or in Brazil. And it's very important to understand what is the best market for you is, and to focus. Don't spread the money away. Like to focus all your activities. Think about your collaborations. Think about your remixes. Thinking about which market you will conquer next. This is also actually the part of the marketing, but like more focused, you know.
Did you any time, for example, that you have a tour or you play in another country, start with this kind of PR campaigns to get more like engagement?
Definitely.
With,
well, in my case, for example, if I play of course, everybody use ads like to promote your stuff. Of course, if you play somewhere, like or you play it in YouTube, you grab the video. I'm trying to do like this. Of course, I want to get. It doesn't mean that I don't want to get. Like if I play in Colombia, I will focus only on Colombia. No, but for example, if I had very good show in Colombia, I prefer to come back, because it will be way easier to come back, because if you did very good video, like you have a good assets, like digital assets where you played or something like photos or etc., and you want to promote it, it makes sense, for example, to invest something like 50 to divide the budget of your ads, like 50% you can invest like to Colombia, once again, to improve your profile there, and then you can spread, but also. For example, there are many very good statistics assets which you can use to think where you will invest your money. For example, Spotify, it's a amazing thing. Like artist Spotify, you can check so many, like you can check where your tracks are being played. You can also focus, like you can discuss with your manager where you have to play. You can see the breakdown of the countries, and of course this way you can see, okay, I will focus on Colombia because I played there. It was very nice show, and I want to come back. It will be easier to come back. But then I go to Spotify and check which 5 countries in Latin America I had more, and I can use that information exactly to invest that money in that country. So the next 50% I will invest into this part.
Yeah, that's really great. Actually, with us in getting into Spotify and getting into this statistic, and where it come from your listeners, if they are more like female or male, the age.
Yeah.
You can.
That's amazing. I mean, they give you free statistics, which is super clear. It can be, I think, it can be a little bit like, for example, if you have very good support from playlists like Technobunker. The thing is, a lot of people, they follow these playlists, and sometimes you think, okay, I have a lot of like people following me or listening me from Netherlands, for example. But maybe they listen more, like they follow more this playlist, not you. But it doesn't, but still it shows you that you have good chances to open that market because, come on, you have good numbers and you have like proof, you know, of your success. And also this way you can discuss with your manager, with your booking agent. This information is super useful because you can show to your booking manager, like, hey man, look, I have very good results in this region. Let us talk with promoters. Let us try to be proactive, or maybe let us think the plan how we can get into this market. Let's check which artists are popular there, or which artists are playing there, or which good agencies are there. Maybe we can get collaborations, or maybe we can. I mean, it's all about like using what you have already. And I think the artists, they already have a lot of possibilities to check their score, you know, their profile.
Yeah, right now we have so many tools, and that we can really use, and they are really useful in terms like to explode and to go to other continents and countries and really play big.
Yeah, true.
Things like maybe 5-10 years ago, we were just like.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, I don't know, like you played like blind, and right now with all the assets, with all possibilities, with streaming, with YouTube, with statistics we have, even like if you have, you can ask if you have releases on some labels, you can ask the label to send you breakdown of the sales, so you can check where your tracks were like sold the biggest, the most. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go next.
Let's go to the next, which is like we are going to one of my favorite topics, networking.
Yeah,
networking and networks. That actually is one of the keys to succeed in the market.
That's why I'm here.
And you know a lot about it. So yeah, let's get into the topic. Please.
Yeah, well, that's very important. That's very important, and this is what a lot of, especially beginning artists, they have to understand, is that if you are small, the big guys, they don't want to work with you. And it's logical. I mean, or you have to be friend with someone, you have to build relations, you have to build this. And it's like business, of course. If I will come right now, I don't know, to Mercedes, and I can say like, hey guys, I want to collaborate with you. What they will think first, they will think, okay, what do you want? I want Mercedes. They say, no, man, but why? We should invest in you. Because what you can give us, what the benefit we will get working with you. And it's logical because, of course, as a benefit, for example, for the label, you can get amazing track, but it's way easier to get, for example, on the label or somewhere when you already have the good relations with the owner, when you already, like, it's a network. It's not like having these cold emails, cold calls asking like, hey, I want to give you something. Of course, it will be way easier and to build the profile, building very good relations. And to get good relations, you have to think first, what should I give? How can I improve my relations with this, like, for example, or agency, or management, or label owner.
Club owners and promoters, especially in order to get gigs. You need to also like to know where you are playing. I mean, like in my personal case, for example, I'm from Spain, but living here since like 10 years. And one thing what I understand about the German market is like before they book you, the promoters, they love to have face-to-face with you, to feel the energy, to know how you are. And it's not like, okay, I like your music, I like your profile, and then I book you. No, they always like this approach
I think in Spain it's the
and I
same.
think is in Spain we have the same, but here in Germany, for me in the beginning was really like, come to the club, and of course it's really hard, you know, because sometimes you need to talk with the promoter at 2 in the morning when you don't go to party and you stay at home, but you really need to do this, and this is how you can really build that up a strong network.
Well, with
you know?
promoters, yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to go, but also it will help a lot if you will think what you will be able to give to another person. For example, what we did in our case with my partner Jack, he's here sitting, yeah, hello Jack. So back in the days, 8 years ago, we started a project called Radio Intense, and on YouTube. And right now, today, we just turned 400,000 followers. And well, it was in the beginning the same. We were thinking how we can serve the market, what we can give to the DJs, what we can give more to build the relations. And we were like, when we moved to Spain, we also started to ask like some promoters, like, hey, if you want, we can record your party for free. We don't need any money. We want to build relations. So you have to think what you can give, especially in the beginning. Like, I don't know, like the same we did with my playlist Techno 247. And maybe you heard, it's pretty big playlist on Spotify. Guys, I invested more than 20,000 euros in this playlist for the ads to promote it, because I wanted to get relations with the artists. I didn't want to ask artists, for example, to work on with Codex. I didn't want to ask them, like, knocking the doors and say, hey, bro, can you please give me your track for my label? Especially Codex, when we started, was very complicated to get the demos. And I was thinking the best strategy will be to have very good, strong playlist, and to add his track, the artist track, to my playlist, mention him in the story that I selected. And of course, when the guys see that I have very big playlist, he will reply, hey, bro, yeah, thank you very much. And then you can ask. You can say, you give already something. And you can say, bro, amazing music. If you have something for my label Codex, please send me over. But it's not like, and it's already, you see, the position is already different. It's not like, hey, bro, could you please? The same you can do, the same trick you can do like with demos. When you know like which the label owner is, like, I don't know, like, of course it will not probably work with Charlotte DeVito, Adam Bear. However, of course, we also need like some smaller steps to grow. And probably this will speed up the way of getting in touch. Also, the same works with another promoters and DJs, because most of the promoters, they are also DJs. Sometimes they produce tracks, sometimes they release music from their fellow artists. And this way you can build in the personal network of the assets. You can give them something before asking. And this way you will, believe me, guys, I mean, that will be like super rocket fuel for your artist profile if you will have the network of assets. In our case, we started to build it pretty long time ago. We have right now Radio Intense channel. We have right now also like radiointense.com as like website. We have PR agencies, but right now we have pretty big structure. But in the end, idea of starting everything like this, it was the idea to give something before ask something. This is very good trick.
Yeah, this is a really good way to approach to someone, no?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Especially when you have interest for something, you know.
The same with events. For example, event also is very powerful thing. I'm sure if you're in the industry, you have a lot of good friends, promoters, and if you can say, I have a very good idea, I have a very good concept. Yes, of course, it's about to think something like, but it's all about being proactive. You say, I have a very good idea, like to make the party. We can do these artists. We can try to get these people. We can start small. However, it's to create something, it's to build something, it's to like the same with playlists, the same with community, the same with everything. Try to think how you can build the network of personal assets and how you can like give something before, and then definitely you will get something back.
So do you think like with all the tools where you are using and all the strategies, you build that up your own community?
Well, I think talking about the labels, we definitely have community, but I think this is, I mean, this is in the end what we do with, like with Codex showcases or with something. It's not even like for us, Codex showcase is not even like the case of making money. It's a case of giving something, possibility to give something, more interest, to give more to the artists, to give more to the people we work with. And we still have to serve the money or like the profit or income. This is secondary. The first, we think about like giving something, create some possibilities for the artists, for the people working with us. And then we will get the profit, then we will get the gigs, and we will get the relations, reputation, and etc.
Exactly. Talking about to be proactive, how you said, this is a good word to define the next advice.
Yeah.
Which we go through the.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, good.
I will jump. Yeah, I'm sorry. I already said the one who does more than people ask him, one day will start getting more than he asks from the people.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, I agree with this. And coming back to the proactive is for this one, no? Like, don't go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, to create your own opportunities. I'm really into knock the doors. There's so many people getting shy or like.
That's
I don't
me. I'm
feel like,
also. I'm not the like. I'm sitting here. Probably it seems like
Come on.
But come on. I hate to ask somebody something. You know. I really. I'm the one who I prefer. That's why it was trick for us to do something like this, because I shy to ask. And for us, it was an idea to give something before, because that is easier to build the communication.
To build the communication. And what do you mean? Like, I mean, getting to don't go with the flow.
Yeah.
And
I will explain.
And plan everything and create your own opportunities and don't wait. No, like someone will knock your door and say, "Hey, this is for you." No, you need to work and.
Well, there are some very good like fairy tales about the artists that they, you know, like sometimes somehow they came with. I have some friends like Warsteiner, for example. He's right now super big French artist, and I remember he said, but like 15 years, like maybe 12 years ago when we played together, he said, "No, bro, I want to create music and I don't care anything. I like there are some examples when the artists like did very good profiles with it. So I cannot say that this will never like work. However, if you will flavor this like this mindset, creating music or whatever, with being like more proactive, try to make the new opportunities for yourself, try to avoid the passive strategy scenario. I think it will definitely work better on your profile, because I mean, in the end, our time, like you see right now with COVID, 2 years, they just like flew away like this, not like boom. And sometimes I'm playing right now and I think, come on, it seems like we didn't have anything like this, but then you think, but it was like 2 years before I played here. I was thinking like in Ost Club, I played in like 2 years ago exactly. And it seems like I was playing yesterday, but the time flies so fast. And I saw amazing examples when the artist profiles were like growing super fast in the short period. And definitely, I think if you will understand, because many artists, they probably think that one day somebody like the amazing manager will come and knock your door and say, "You're such an amazing artist, and I will do you, like, you will become superstar with me, and let's work together." Probably it can be one from 1,000 cases. However, in the end, I think the passive strategy is really bad for the artist profile. And the thing, once again, this is what I say. You have to try to rush creating the opportunities for yourself, thinking like about like making events, thinking what do you have inside. I'm sure definitely everybody who is sitting here has very good community of friends, has good community of people starting with, and in the end, all these big promoters, they also started like many years ago from nothing.
From zero, yeah.
From zero, and they also created something from nothing. And it's all about like, I think, don't go with the flow. It's about like being proactive, plan, set up the goals, and try to speed up the process. Try to speed up, get in touch with managers, get in touch with thinking about the collaboration, thinking about like during the year you can create like amazing profile. Mm-hmm. And we have some examples, because I do also kind of coaching thing. And
for the artist,
for the artist, and this way it helped me a lot, like surviving during the pandemic times. And we had amazing examples when the artist from zero, after 1 year, he has gigs, parties, releases like on the labels, like on the big labels like Terminal M, you know, and from zero. Mm-hmm. And it's all about like every week we have calls, and every week I push. Okay, do this, collaborate this. Don't wait. And this is important thing, and this can help a lot.
But did you anytime follow your own flow, or I mean, like, did you change your journey in the way, like, in the beginning more your flow, and then you realize, okay, it's not working?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, like, really,
But it's not a problem, because I think if you go somewhere and if you run somewhere, sometimes you can change your way, but you will be way more prepared for the next change if you will go like faster, you know. However, the next advice will be pretty opposite, because this advice is like to do work fast and try to do everything faster. But the fifth advice is, don't do the wrong steps and don't be fast.
Don't be fast.
Yes, and probably it seems like what the hell are you talking about, bro?
Contradiction.
It
No?
makes no sense. However, yes, and I will explain what I have few, and this is all my problems that I did, all my mistakes that I did in my life. Create your own label. When you do not have big profile. Second, like, do not have patience, you know, like you don't wait for anything, and like you want to do everything fast, and then that's it. Trying to sign everything you have produced without thinking about label reputation. This also that passed with me like many years ago. A lot of artists, they create the tracks and they want just like to sign them, like, because, yeah, come on, everybody loves his music. For us, all the tracks we produce, especially if you produce it just yesterday, you think, okay, this track is like Beatport number one.
Exactly.
Yes, and it happens to me always. That's why I give myself like 1 week I don't listen this track and then I listen again, or I play it somewhere.
Yeah, sometimes when you judge your own production, your own track, is really easy to get into this hole, like how you say, no, it's amazing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I prefer always like to give this thing to the audience,
yeah,
to judge, because it's really like how many times the people post like I have a new banger, or like wow, bomb, and sometimes it's like, okay, but it's really your track, so it would be nice if like someone external.
But the thing is that a lot of artists, especially young ones, they're surrounded by the friends.
Yeah.
And friends, they serve you, you know, they do not like, they probably cannot be like very like clear with you because they don't want to hurt you, you know, or something like this. And of course, I think it's about like trying to, that's why I'm saying like it's cool to send to the big labels, and I do recommend even to start from the biggest and then to go down, not to from the smaller, but okay, send to like to the big one. I don't know, in terms of techno, like there are a lot but big ones, and they do not, if they don't take, go down slowly, and if nobody takes this track, okay, leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave it for the album probably, or maybe in 2-3 months you will think that it's not the best one. Maybe I shouldn't, because I did. This was my problem. I released everything I produced, and right now when I listen to Beatport,
you sign everything that you produce.
Yes.
Okay.
As I said, all these advices I give, it's my personal like pain. Yeah. And I'm trying to like help to avoid the same mistakes I did in my art.
And what you say about the first one, like to have my own label, do you feel like you need to be big enough in the market to have your own label? Otherwise, you will suffer?
Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, you have to build a network of your personal assets. You have probably to make the parties. You have to fail many times. You have to build the connections in the industry. You have to give yourself, like, to get the knowledge to understanding about the building strategies, like inviting other people. Because this, I mean, at least even to understand how the music business works, because I mean there are a lot of things like adjustments, like legal part, like publishing. And a lot of artists, they don't know even what is publishing rights.
Yeah, about publishing is like a
or
word,
neighborhood
like
rights.
Not everyone is getting to.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's better to not like you created the track, nobody signed it, and okay, of course I can do right now my own label, and right now it's super easy to make your own label, you know, and like they do their own labels, and then in the end what happens? Nothing. They do not want to release anywhere else. They don't want to wait to get to the big labels. They think, okay, with my label I can boost my track to Beatport top 10, and I will be superstar #1. And that's way they will not get any. They will not work with managers of the labels. They will not work with the artists. They will not have. It's very tricky to create your own label. It's very tricky, and. I do not recommend to the artist to do this in the beginning, definitely.
Yeah, actually, from my own experience, talking especially about labels, I have so many friends that they try, and in the end, it's more like economic problems because you need to invest in promotion, you need to invest, and in the end, it's not like nothing coming back, not really what you think it is. So you need to know, of course, that in the beginning it's gonna be on that way. There is people like talking about patience.
Yeah.
It's really important to have in order to build that up a strong label, but also to realize, like in the beginning, you will lost, especially in economic way.
Yeah, you know, but I think you're right completely. But I think that's why you need to start thinking how you can. I mean, come on. Right now, it's easier to get because, for example, you can build very good, strong community, local community that will support you, and it doesn't like take a lot of money. You know, you can build the possibilities like you if you create the parties, for example, and you invite the artist who is the owner of the label, it will be way easier to get there. That's why I was speaking in the last advice about do not create the label, and I started like from advice 3 to start like thinking about the personal assets, which is important because if you will have if you will focus not on like creating music and sending your music and waiting, but you will focus your, how to say, life energy to another things, probably it will be way easier then lately to sign your music because you already will have the network of the artists that will like to work with you, right? And it will be completely different. So stream your energy, forward your energy to another way, to another like path, and then you will have, I mean, the same time, or then waiting for the reply from the demo, or like creating something together with your friends.
To create the opportunity, no?
Yes.
Do you have any personal experience that you would like to share with us?
Well, I mean, in my case, this is what I did. I mean, right now we have the guy from Panama, Bruce Ulcer. He just signed to Terminal M Records, and I was like, he was the artist that I was working with him for more than a year.
Like coaching.
Yeah. And well, we this is what we do. I mean, we create the possibilities. He just hosted the last week his first party in Panama with Juliet Fox, and they already they signed Claudia Gaulas to. I mean, he creates the opportunity for and of course, artists, they are super happy when you host them, when you have the person. I mean, how you can get, for example, Claudia Gaulas, she's like superstar, super big artist, like very famous, you know? How you can get her? How you can get remix from her? How you can get collaboration with her? How? Impossible. But if you make the party, if you make the event, if you act proactive, you can build great relations. You can speak with her. You can spend great time. You can show yourself as person, and it will be completely different way of it's hard, I understand. However, this is your career, and then of course it's not a problem. I mean, not only about club, but and from other people, it's not problem then to build that very good offline personal relations with people. And and from another side, you keep on growing your artist profile, and you keep on creating your personal assets. And it works all together because in the end, to have very good, healthy life, healthy artist profile, you need in the end only two things: the connections and the love of fans. Without these two things, you will not be big, because you can be very popular locally, but without connections, probably you will not go big. You can, or if you will have only connections but without love of fans, you will play of course you will play a lot, but nobody will care who will play, you know? So you need to work on these two different things.
Yeah, you need to find the balance, and this is why I ask you to create your own community, because at the end the fans will give you the...
Yeah, definitely. You have to serve
them.
Yeah, exactly. You have to work with them. It's work. It's work, but come on, it's not only about creating music, it's about creating your opportunities.
Okay, so
let's go next. Yeah, but this is what also important thing, to confirm deals with random agencies managements, because when somebody see that you're start growing, especially there are a lot of small agencies, small booking, they want to book you, and then the same with the clubs. You have to be very careful confirming the gigs. It doesn't mean that you have to take all the possible requests, because sometimes you can play at one festival or at one party, and then it will block the opportunity for that, like the big one.
To play in the big one.
Yes, and this is something like to be very, of course I understand the artists, they want in the beginning everything, to confirm everything. Oh, management finally, or booking agency finally, but this is something that you have to, these kind of steps you have to take slowly and carefully, because you can damage your profile in the future.
And in the end, how many, I always say, like one of the tough things into the market, at least for my experience, was always to find the proper agency.
Yeah.
Because you as a newcomer, like when you start and maybe any agency is so interested in yourself, then you get like, how you say, wow, my first agency, but then they don't do nothing.
Yeah.
You get mad and sad because it's not working, and you think like, come on guys, you have the contact, doesn't work. And then you jump from agency to agency doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because you need to understand that sometimes you need to skip some opportunities in order to find the good one.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why it's better to be very like careful and very selective, thinking about what, like having the requests or etc. Okay, well, produce releases and remixes also with friends labels trying to get to pay back, you know. Yeah. This is also a big problem that happened to me, because I mean, when you was invited, like when I was invited to some parties, and then the promoter said, we have small label, can you do the track for us? And you want to be a good guy, and of course you give or do the remix, and then definitely your profile doesn't work
properly.
Yeah, it's also dangerous. So my advice for this is to work hard, produce music, plan events, trying to be very proactive, but very selective and very careful with your decisions, because the wrong step, as we discussed not so long time ago, we had the call with Axel, the manager of Rainer Zornweld, and we were discussing this together, and he said, yes, one wrong step costs you 10 correct steps. Yeah. So you can do 10 correct steps building your profile, and then you do one wrong and you go down. This is what the manager of Rainer Zornweld says, not me.
But actually, in the end, you need to have your own, I mean, like at the beginning, the mistakes. Then from that, how we talk, you learn, and you build it up to stronger profile. But of course, you need to take time, no? Of course, to this.
Yeah, and you have to learn, and you have to release. That's why I'm saying you have to release on the labels and speak with professionals. You have to create the parties, and like, it's all about like being careful, doing these careful steps, like where you rush, where you don't, where you selective, where you're fast, where you invest, where you don't. You know. So I mean, it's learning. But it's very interesting journey. In the end.
It is. And now we will go for one of the most important things, I will say, to the market, which is to be able to handle with a negative answer.
Yeah.
Not everyone is ready for that. Everyone is ready for succeed, but not everyone is ready for the fail.
Yes.
And I think like we need to get used to that. You will fail. This is no question. You will have no's, you will have bad moments, and you will need to learn from that. And the most thing, you will need to get stronger for the upcoming things, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I was thinking about this concept of the word no, you know, and when I realized that a lot of artists, especially in the beginning, they don't know how to act with this word, and there are 3 main rules with this word that I learned from my career, that like how to act with this word no. And the first is like afraid to get the no reply. That's why like happened to me many times when I didn't send my tracks to the big labels, or I didn't get in touch, you know, because we all afraid to have this negative reply no.
Answer, yeah.
And that's why sometimes we just don't do anything. We just wait for like that's it, you know. We keep on waiting because nobody wants to get this no reply. And people lose a lot of opportunities following that. The second thing, I think you have to write. You don't have to be afraid. You have to, don't wait that somebody will do it for you. So if you have great demos, send to the best label you want to get. Of course, be smart. Like try to like never send the demo unmastered, because it must be like the first meeting. You know, the first like it. You never think if I will go to the dating with the girlfriend, like with my future wife, you will never think I will take the worst dress I have, the worst clothes. Yeah, I will I don't know, I will clear my shoes, I will take the best clothes ever. And of course it's very important to have this first impression, you know. And this same with the demos, like master them, mix them, do the best ever thing you can do, and send everywhere. Don't afraid to get the no reply. If you will afraid, nothing will move. The second problem of word no is do not accept word no. And I have one guy. We manage his label. He's super talented, but he has problems with word no. When he gets the reply word no, like somebody says
mad.
no, he gets mad. He burns everything. You know, he's like, it's very tricky. And it's very important to learn to accept this word.
Do you think like the ego play a important role in that case, where you have so much ego and then you don't know how to, you don't like that people say to you no, so you need to put your ego on the floor and say, okay, let's listen more than talk.
It's pretty hard for some people. For me, it was also hard. You know, when you, for example, bring the artist many times it happened to me, I bring one artist many times to Ukraine, and then I send him the demos. I bring him once, bring him second time, third time. We had amazing time together. I was thinking, like, we have very good relations. And when I sent him demos, he replied, hey, bro, no. Send me something more. But right now I understand that he just didn't like the tracks for his label. But then maybe 8 years ago, I was mad. Hey, you asshole. I did everything for you in my city. I did so many gigs, and you say no to me. You know, and I think it's very important. And then I didn't send anything to him something like 2 years. And it was very big mistake from my side. It was very stupid from my side, because probably he just didn't like that tracks. So I had to try one more time. And for many people I know, they just cannot handle with this word. You know, they cannot and this is something to learn, to accept this, to learn to accept this word and to keep on moving, you know?
And in the end, it's like, I always try to find the positive things as a no. And when you receive a negative answer, for me, it's, you can get better.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is why, like, it's called, I mean, or like I try to apply for myself, like, emotional intelligence, no? Try to always, like, find the positive thing to everything. Also with this topic, you know, like, hey.
Yeah, this way you can make word no working on you, because, for example, in my case right now, if I send something like request to collaborations or remixes or etc., I want from 10 replies, I want to get 7 replies no. That means that I send to the, I'm growing with my requests. If everybody says me yes, when I send like remix, collaboration, when I ask artists, that means that I'm not growing. Yeah. I'm on the same level. I do not have any resistance, you know? Mm-hmm. And we are humans. We don't grow in like under the cover. We need to come over the resistance, you know? And that's why I have this rule. 7 no, 3 yes.
To develop yourself and don't feel like, okay, I cannot. I reach already my sky.
I'm growing, yes.
Okay.
And the third can't say no. This is also the big problem. And I was already talking about this when you have the tracks, when you have releases, when you sign the tracks from different artists. You get these replies no. And I mean, you say always yes, and nothing works for you, you know? You do not grow, so. I think I talk too much.
All good.
So I think in the end, let me check. I think this is it already, and it was probably pretty big. I mean, it's just 5, but I hope I explained well, because these like easy 5 steps, they can help you really, like, if you follow them, these 5 advices, it will be way easier to avoid a lot of mistakes and problems in the future with your profile.
Yeah, I think like we had a really good time.
Yeah, thank you.
And right now to finish, to dismiss, we will go for like a winner's announcement. So we will listen, like Spartaque together with one of our partners, Warsteiner. We are doing a demo drop, and
yeah.
Actually, what you can explain more about it, how it's going, and how
it was an idea to have the demo drop. So a lot of artists they created the techno tracks. They sent to my demo Dropbox with marked BDME demo, and we had quite a lot. So many demos really, and I had to select 5, but actually I selected something like 8. And it was very hard, especially because I had to define the winner today in the morning, and I was completely destroyed
From
after
yesterday?
the party yesterday. And in the lobby of hotel, I was.
How many people or how many demos
I
did
think
you receive?
more than 100, around 150, maybe up to, I don't know, around this, you know, like, but quite a lot, quite a lot.
And what is the why? I mean, like, what is the things that it's important for you in the way to pick up one track for your label? There is like elements, or it's like, do you like check the profile of the artist, or for you doesn't matter how big it is?
You know, normally, because we have few labels, and normally for Codex we try to select more established artists. However, in the case of this like competition, I think it's not fair to select by the artist profile, by the the size of the artist profile. And I think it's right now it's all about the music, but the music still I do not. I mean, music is not mathematics. And the tracks, sometimes you feel it and sometimes you do not feel it, you know. And sometimes when some artists, because I'm trying to reply always to demo, like when even not like to this demo drop, but to all the demos that I get on for my label, I'm trying always to reply at least. If I don't like, please send me something more, because I don't like personally myself when I send the demo to the label. Thanks God, I do not have this already for a long time, but I don't like when the demo, the label managers, the owners, they do not reply. I think it's not correct. So sometimes the artists, they say, you didn't like my track, but can you explain what exactly you didn't like? Maybe you kick or something like this. When, of course, it's easy to explain, like, yeah, it's like the master is not good, or like I don't like the way it sound, or maybe the drop is not good enough. However, sometimes you just do not feel the track on the label, and that's it. And in this case, today, all the tracks that I selected, actually, I can sign all of them.
Okay.
Because the tracks are really good ones. And, well, I think even still, we had like so many demo emails, and I think it's very cool that artists really took attention and sent all this track to us. So I'm super thankful.
I really agree with you, like, in terms of to answer always, because there's so many people who are just like struggle with the answer, like they are waiting and they don't know if they should send to other labels.
Yeah.
And sometimes these kind of like little details make the difference between be professional or be professional.
The thing is that for us, this is our main business, to sell the music. And I hope that when the artist will have the good demo, I reply always. I hope that when the artist will have another good demo, he will think, okay, these guys reply always. Yeah. So I will send my demo first to them, and then I will send to another tracks, another labels, because I know that at least these guys will give me a reply fast. So this way I can count that the label, the artist, I will be the first in the queue to get the demo from them. Nice. And maybe the demo will be really good, and maybe we can make a lot of money with them.
Yeah, this is a good.
Together.
Yeah, this is a good idea. Okay, so
yeah,
there we
go for it. Yeah, let me exit. Okay, so we have 5 demos, and I will start with actually this demo of my friend. It's
okay.
We are not corrupted Eastern European guys, but so yeah, I think we will have short listen, and I can explain what I really like in this track.
So you will give every single time.
Yeah. Well, I will try to give very quick. But I think, guys, yeah. With this sound, I think I will not be able to explain. Well, in this track, I really like because I know that this guy, he has the past of like hard techno, you know, and I think right now, hard style, yeah, he's sitting over there. So yeah, I know yeah, it's him, and I know that in his case, he has very good experience producing this kind of music, you know. And I think right now why I selected this track, and probably why I will sign it for one of my labels, because I think that right now this kind of sound is turning back. Everything is turning back, you know.
Completely.
Yeah, the DJ started to play super fast, you know, and I like this influence of like this old school touch with acid, you know, with little psytrance melodies, you know. It's super cool track. Well, of course, when I listened it was way louder.
Did you play the track already in club?
No, not yet. This actually, this is the Look, guys, once again, this tracks was sent unmastered, and this is not a good thing. Next, if you will send it, my personal advice, send always master tracks. At least like master yourself, like learn. I mean, there are so many good
Tools and plugins.
plugins right now, some YouTube tutorials to create like at least homemade master, but it will be like the first date, you know, with label. It must be because can you imagine like you listen like our label manager, okay, he has demo session. Today he will listen to demos. He listen 10 demos and your demo amount of them, right? And 9 of them they are mastered, they sound fat, hard, like good, and your track is like good, just like drop, you know? Like, definitely not the best strategy, right? To get your attention. But yeah, but I know that this track is good, and I think we can. I will probably ask him to send me a few tracks more, and we'll think about.
We'll find for a meeting.
Yeah. But honestly, I tell you guys, all these tracks I select, and also this guy, Broken Robert, he's also has the profile of like from hard techno. Goldpay, he's this guy from Czech Republic, and this track I really like about you. I really like the vocal. I really like this melancholic vibe, you know. And I think this it will work very well. And once again, I really like when artists they go from one sound to another sound, so they can bring some vibes, you know.
Some vibes, no?
Yeah.
Are you looking for any kind of a specific profile to the artist, or like doesn't matter? It's like someone who produced tech house or a house and then he became to you with.
I don't care. For me, the music matters. That's why we did the infrastructure of the labels. We have like the headliner label, the main label. Then we have like smaller labels because for us it's very important. And this way we can even build. Like for example, if I see the Jan profile. We can start like with IMT. We can like then we have a lot of labels in our like group, so we can place there, and then Codex. So we can follow the artist profile like 1-2 years together, and then maybe management booking, etc. You know, so like it's infrastructure.
So you were like a really like a family, like build it up from the basement.
For me, I think this is the most interesting thing because if we see that the artist is growing, I don't want him to go to another labels. I want him to work with me because because sometimes today we use our assets to build the profile of these artists, and tomorrow he signs with another label, and another label like gets like I don't know Technobunker for example. But I warmed his profile.
Yeah, you bet your time, your energy, your knowledge, and
it's not interesting for us.
You want to keep him with you, no?
Definitely.
Not like you build that other profile and then he goes with.
Well, I mean, we do not lock the artists with the contracts, so they are free to go everywhere. But I think in our case, we try to give them as much services as possible, mixes, like I don't know, like playlists. Channels, everything.
Podcast, radio show.
Everything. I mean, we try, and maybe sometimes with some artists from Codex, we even try to get like direct posts explaining, like thinking about what we do. Another big scene is coming. Hello, Marcus. We NFT is coming also, and is another big scene that a lot of artists like are super excited with, you know, and. I think right now there are so many great opportunities for the artist profile, and definitely we are happy and interested to have these opportunities together with artists, not to leave him somewhere, but get these artists and have this like trip together with him to get good music. So this track I really love. He sent me 4 tracks, but this one is like very cool, very super nice one.
Okay,
there's another song. There's another guy. This very pretty experienced guy, and this track is different because it's more melody, but I can tell you guys that the drop here is super cool, super fat. Unfortunately, I mean, yeah, this big one. I think this big room techno, like super for the fast. Yeah, but like this is what I like, you know.
Did you work already with this artist? Or?
I think he was releasing on our label before. I mean, honestly, all these artists, like only one of them. It was. I think we discussed with you this yesterday also that a lot of artists that I selected not because of them, but they already had releases and they answered to the competition. And I was like, even, hi, but probably they will say that we are like corrupted guys because we're really like, I took the guys we already like, we had that they have been working with us before.
Working with us.
But I mean, it's not like this. I just like the music that they sent. This track is really good. I cannot say that I'm super happy with the second one, but I play exactly the ones that I like, and I think also I don't want to leave these tracks, all these tracks. I want to work with them, and we will find a place for them definitely.
How many tracks do you ask for normally when someone drop to you some demos? Like, are you like, please 2 or 3 or 4, like no more than?
That's a good question. Very good question. I think the best number is from 3 to 5. Because one track is not the best strategy. Because for me, if somebody sends me one track, it means like, hey, I'm so sure that this track is so cool that you have to select or this or not. I mean, I have no choice.
Even 2, because if for any reason the label doesn't like one track, then they will say, okay, I need 2 tracks, 2 singles for the EP, so you lost your chance. So I will say also like between 3, 4. Also, when I really into this kind of EPs with only one single, I think is this a good quality. You don't need to have remixes. Well, I mean, of course, there's always brings something good, but yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But you know, the thing is also right now the market changed a bit. For example, talking about Spotify thing or streaming thing, right now streaming services you can pitch only one track, and for example so the second track is already like in the shadow. You know, you cannot highlight the second track, so you can select only one. And if we speak right now about like where the money comes from, the money comes from streaming, and yes, it's not probably the best strategy right now to release like this kind. We also try to release 2 tracks at least because we have one time slot for this label, and it's like talking about the profit. We need to get 2 tracks at least so we get some more money. However, talking about the artist management, etc., for me, I release 1 track because maybe I can have another release in a month, you know, something like this, or maybe in 6 weeks or 2 months, and I don't want to waste the second track, you know. And well, if I do this for myself, probably it will not be too fair to
do it for the rest, no?
Yeah, well,
okay,
there's also
for the 4th one.
Yeah, there's Pablo say this guy also from Valencia is super good, and he's like he has super unique sound. This guy, he sent me also 3 demos, but this is my favorite. It is good.
He just released in Terminal M, no?
Yeah, he was releasing also. He released on Codex before. He had releases on True Soul of Adam Bear.
Yeah, Adam Bear, like back in the day.
And right now he works a lot of time, like almost all releases he has with us, and he's super nice guy. And you see, by the way, it's very interesting because most of the tracks that I played, like from Broken Robot, I played the last track. From Pablo Say, I played the last track, and it doesn't mean that sometimes the track that you love more, maybe label manager doesn't love. So like send everything, don't hesitate, don't be afraid of, send everything you have, but the best quality and just do it. That's it. Very good one, very good one. I will sign it definitely. Yes, oh yes. I will not leave these tracks. Okay, so talking about this. Like this, another one, the fifth demo from guy Peter Fern. I think he's from Poland. And this track is very cool. Once again, we need to listen them on another sound.
But for example, like how many tracks he sent to you? Like
that's
8.
I think that's quite a lot.
That's quite a lot.
But still, you see, I selected 6, 7.
Okay.
So. No, please, for me, better.
And how is for you when someone sends you like 8 tracks? Do you get like, okay, I will not get really into it?
The thing is that I've started to listen to them fast, and it's not good for the artist, definitely. I think the 5 is maximum that for me to take complete attention on the track. So I think that in this case, because we have Berlin demos, and I was very like so into it, and I think. This guy, I selected actually 2 tracks, and honestly, I think that this guy, he will win competition, and I explain you why. First of all, that this guy, he never had releases with us before. I like the tracks, and I think talking about like, well, it's not only because all the tracks that I selected I like a lot, you know, but I think that this guy has these tracks. They are pretty intensive. They are pretty like, I can imagine them playing 138. I can imagine them playing 140. I think right now talking about the modern trance where the techno goes, this release matched perfectly. And also I like that these guys has pretty not like small but pretty upcoming profile. And I think it's also like for me very important to support the people that I don't know personally and to start working with them. However, we have also here like 3 more tracks from the guy from Sevilla Basset. I will not play them, but the guy Matt Laurie that I like a lot. The tracks also, and the last one is my favorite. Also the guy from Argentina, Drigo. And I think with these 8 tracks, we will definitely find them the good place, or on Codex or on IMT, but definitely on our labels.
So the winner is
Peter Fern and C Asia.
okay.
I think.
And now, how is the process? You will get in contact with him, and
Yeah, definitely. I hope they will watch the
the streaming.
the streaming. However, definitely we'll congratulate them. We will discuss with Mika how we will manage everything. And I'm super happy that I could find the tracks from the people that I don't know. And in my case, this is our work, to find the new talents. And we always like, we always starving. We always want to more new cool guys, and we always open to work with them.
Okay, great. So yeah, that was really great. Like now, like everyone, we will start with a QA round. If someone have any question, please raise your hand. And
Yeah, thank you very much for doing this talk. It's interesting as hell.
thank you.
I'd love to ask you, what do you think about approaching people at parties directly with like a USB stick and to pass a demo in that way, not using the digital way?
Yeah.
Do you think is it how do you say it in English? Is it a cool? Would you appreciate it, or would you think, dude, that's kind of a little bit too personal?
Well, I did not see. It's a good question. Is that USB stick you have? No. No. I think that's very good question. That's very good question. I do not see it's like personal, because still it's a good touch with the person, right? However, I'm not sure that this is like, honestly, I'm personally afraid to insert any USB in my laptop, because I don't know what will be there. Maybe it has viruses or something like this. It's my personal. So in my personal way, I never in my life, I get some demos by the USBs. I never in my life inserted USB in my laptop after after I get the demo, because I don't know what is there. However, I think it's a good way at least to get in touch with person. And maybe if you give something like this, maybe you need to give more, maybe something more special. Because in the end, why you give this, I mean, it's maybe not like, think about this USB stick, how can be useful or not, you know? Maybe like some artists, they want to have, they give maximum like 16, like the smallest one, you know, smallest one USB or possible. And I think in this case, it's better to give the maximum one, like for 1 terabyte, to write your name on it and to give it to the artist so he can use it for his for his personal needs, you know. And he will see, oh my God, this is a big thing, you know. I will use it, but every time he will see your name. So play with it, you know. Not only like use it as a source to deliver your demos, but use it more as a source to get to the head of this person.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, or it must be super useful. For example, if it like, try to give it like, because right now my laptop, yeah, I have no USB entry, and I have no, because the USB sticks I have to play as a DJ, I have from one side USB-C, from another side, so I don't like this connectors or whatever. And of course, if you will give me the regular, like USB-C, probably I will not use it. So think how you can give something useful to that person so he will appreciate and will remember you. Think about this kind of like way. And definitely, I think this is a good strategy, at least to get known, you know, and to build this touch with person.
But it was really like old school back in the days, like to give USB stick. And
I have so many at home.
So many, no? I remember like back in the days, like Richie Houghton, like so many, when he was with Minus, so many people give in, and he was like post something like, please guys, I really appreciate the music, but you need to create like into the USB document war with your email address, because if you, who you are, because if you give me just the USB with the music, I don't know who you are. And I will not remember your face, of course.
Yeah, I know Richie was listening. It's very like, I appreciate this.
Yeah.
In my case, I don't know. Probably I have this like I have vaccine, but probably for the USB sticks, I'm like this kind of old school. Like
Old school guy, yeah.
I'm afraid to insert something that I don't know into my laptop. You know? But still, I mean, think about like giving some extra value on this thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, someone else? No?
I have a second question.
Good.
A completely different topic, but in your personal experience, what do you think about using Facebook as an artist? Do you think it's still necessary?
Facebook.
Yes, as a platform to promote yourself, to have your profile.
That's a good question. I don't use it to promote my profile.
You don't?
Yeah, I mean, to promote my, when I post something to Instagram, we have it like reposted to Facebook. I mean, this is my personal user experience, you know. I'm not, because the problem is what I see that they changed so much. Back in the days, I was investing quite a lot into my Facebook profile, but then they changed the algorithm so many times, you know. Or you can, for example, we invested like big money into the page, and then they change the algorithm, and you cannot. The page is useful, you know. You do not get the views, likes, or whatever, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's tricky, you know. It's like the work with a partner that he's trying to cheat you, you know. It's like it's something. I do not trust them, and I do not feel that I want to invest the money into their products, into Facebook as a product, because I don't know what they will change once again, and how will it affect on my personal like investments, you know. Yeah. And in the end, we try to. Yes, Instagram I think is big. I don't know about TikTok. I'm not sure that we have enough audience in terms of my age and the music I play. But for example, I think YouTube is a very stable platform to invest in. Still, they change quite a lot, but we have very good examples where the DJs with mixes, they built very good profiles, and they played quite a lot, building their image, exactly their profile on YouTube. So I cannot give any recommendations, but talking about myself, I prefer to invest in Instagram and YouTube with my profiles.
So where are the social media platforms where we can find you?
That's
it. Like Instagram and YouTube is.
Yeah. Well, this is where I mean, talking about YouTube, I appear more on Radio Intense YouTube channel because we have very good platform. There are a lot of followers there, and it's logical to share my mixes there. But yeah, talking about my personal social media is mostly Instagram.
Do you do it by yourself?
I have the girl who helps me, and well, sometimes I do myself, sometimes she uploads. For example, if I need to add the story and like mention 10 persons, and it's like long story with different, like, so I ask her to do this.
Okay, great, nice. So, someone else?
Yeah, thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank
you for the
Thank you
questions.
for asking.